Zoom is showing a conference call. KL.
Yes, hello.
Hey, 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 hey. All right. Hey, Ron. Hey, Kale.
Good
Terry.
evening, good evening.
Ron.
Anybody going to no grocery stores this week?
Listen,
It's
why
an
am
attack
I
on
not?
Black people.
I know, but yeah, because I'm literally thinking about where I go. You know?
I'm thinking about coming up with a new company called Black Grubhub.
No, because then it'll be targeted. So you don't want to do that.
Okay, we're gonna call
Here's
it
Jane.
what we call it? We should call it the I call it Trumpster Grubhub. That way it only delivers food to Black people.
No, then it'll get hijacked and they come after you. No, it can't be. I'm gonna tell you, we've got several. We got the Juneteenth stuff coming up and all of that. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not. Oh, and by the way, my girlfriend just sent me an international travel alert, and it was for the United States of America. I kid you not. Her aunt lives in Ghana, and it's from Amnesty International Travel Advisory, United States of America. If you decide to travel to the United States, be extra vigilant at all times and be wary of the ubiquity of firearms among the population. Avoid places where large numbers of people gather, especially cultural events, places of worship, schools, and shopping malls. Exercise increased caution when visiting local bars, nightclubs, and casinos. And it's got, depending on the traveler's gender, identity, race, country of origin, ethnic background, or sexual orientation, they may be at higher risk of being targeted with gun violence and should plan accordingly. It's more. But literally Amnesty International is sending that travel advisory out.
Oh, again, they left out the parts that don't go to chicken shacks.
Yeah, it's
Seafood
more in
joints.
here. I didn't want to bore you with reading the whole thing, but
I was just being funny. How's everybody? Is everybody okay?
I'm doing well.
All right, it'd be
Good.
awesome if we can see each
Thank
other.
you.
Hanging in there.
hey,
Hi.
hey.
Who is iPhone?
Tanya, probably.
Oh, hey Tanya, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Just dealing
Okay,
with
that doesn't sound good.
it. Well, a lot of our funeral services yesterday were outside, so I have allergies to coming.
Oh. Yeah, it's bad here today too.
Yeah, and you know it's bad in Texas, period.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot to do, and let's see if we can get this done in a few minutes because we're all geniuses. It doesn't take a lot of work. Let me see if I can share this screen right quick. Guys, can y'all see that? Today's agenda.
Yep.
Panel discussion, sponsorship, awards, auctions, receptions, elections. We're gonna start at the bottom and go up to make it go faster. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
All right, first thing on the agenda is elections. Does anybody know who has run? Do we have any confirmation of those that are running for the office?
Rashonda
Confirmation.
Hall is all I know.
Is that a
And they-
confirmation?
I believe it is because I saw it because NABJ put it out.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you have that email, you can share it with us?
I'll have to dig it up, Terry.
No problem. No, I
Yeah.
haven't seen any election information. Is anybody else?
Yes, I saw the same email that Pam saw. It listed the certified candidates for the offices that were open and who was eligible to vote in which categories. That was sent out early last week.
May 12th. All right, guys, it was sent out May 12th in case you all want to know who's on there. And oh, it's pretty good. And she's uncontested, so that's a good thing. Looks like everybody's uncontested. So it's sort of going to be like an easy election. So we won't have to do any extra campaigning or trying to push our candidates in. So we might want to reach out to her. What do you
I
guys?
did reach out to her. I haven't heard back from her.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, I have not.
Any ideas, thoughts, suggestions of what we should do? Reach out to her and bring her into the fold as far as what the task force is doing. Any thoughts? Anybody?
Yeah, I could. I mean, she's probably like me, negligent in looking at her LinkedIn messages. But I swear I had reached out to her.
Okay, so
But
is
you
there
know,
any, is there an overall suggestion on what the overall strategy we should do as a task force to reach out to Rashonda?
we just reach out to her, Terry. We hope that she responds.
I got your note, Pam. Got to hear from someone else.
I have a question. Is she a
Sure.
part of the media related task force actively?
Well, Rashonda was actually for a while, and then she lost her employment with Business Wire. She was a communications manager, and then she just went undercover for a minute.
Okay, I just.
I
We
think
hadn't crossed paths. I just wanted to make-
yeah, if you look at our scrapbook or our histories, she's been a
She's
very active
long,
person
yeah.
with us.
Long
And sort of, she sort of fits the bill that Pamela has. She has skin in the game.
Yes, always has been that type of person.
Anything
That's
else,
just
KL?
very comforting. That's just
Yeah.
very comforting to have someone who really understands the landscape and can really be an advocate for
Yeah.
our platform.
And she has been engaged with the National Board activity in the past. She's been very engaged with National Board activity, so she's used to it, and she's very close with Winona, who's also a Pat Tobin Award. And they also are head. She worked with me on the National Black Public Relations Society conference we had 2 years ago in Chicago. I was on the planning team, and we had a great engagement. I really am super happy that it's her. I also had reached out to Rabia and asked her to do it. She said, nah.
Well, you know, Rabia is a VP now at her position. I think she's also real active on Higher Heights. So I think she was, what I got from her is that she's just, you know.
I'm pleased that it's Rashonda. We do need to reach out to her. So I'll collectively reach out to her and be transparent, so we'll all see that email. The next thing is receptions. There is a reception request for us to complete by the 23rd of May. And it's an individualized reception, so we can get reception space at the host hotel. I don't have any issues with filling it out or completing that, but I had spoke with Tia, she's involved in one task force and over the other. And I said, we need to probably do something that's a little bit more upscale and more engaged than just a meeting or a reception. And she's all for it. So we had put together a combination effort to see if we could come up with it and look at a sponsor. And so what are your guys' thoughts on that, on the reception process?
Did everybody see what the idea that, why can't I get, her name is escaping me right now, forgive me. She did a whole health and wellness kind of proposal.
Mita?
Yeah. I don't know if everybody saw it or whatever, because I mean, I had to ask her to see it. I thought she had sent it to you. Why I can't?
She sent it to everybody.
Oh, did she? Did she?
Do you guys recall that she did a hospitality suite sponsorship? It wasn't more about a reception. It's more about having a hospitality suite.
Oh,
I don't think
I don't think
I
she did.
saw that.
Yeah, I don't think she sent it to everyone. I think she had just sent it to you. You asked me, did I see it? I said no. Then why can't I think of her name? Terry, say her name. I can't get her name out.
Mita Meriday.
Yeah, Mita. Mita put that out, and but I don't know.
Is it something? So what Mita did is it actually has a sponsor for it, or that's just kind of the concept of something that we might consider, and then we still have to find a sponsor.
It is titled the NABJ Media Related Health and Wellness Suite Experience. And shows here she sent it to several people. I'm sorry you guys didn't get it. I'll be forwarding it right now. But it doesn't, I think Pam and I talked about it. It just needed to be more tweaked for media related. It was across the board talking about health, wellness, and things of that nature. It's a good idea if we can get a sponsor to sponsor our suite, which is what we will need. So I'm forwarding that to the task force now, so you guys can look at it and talk about it later. The reason we're bringing these things up is because the panels that we submitted are tied into sponsorship. And if they get green lighted, their sponsors tied to them. So I think a suite is important. I think we've always had a suite. I don't see how we can not be in Vegas and not have a suite. Let's see here.
Terry, is that when you talk about that they're associated with sponsors, are they sponsors that we have to find, or
No,
there's sponsors
the
that NABJ
panels
already
we
has?
submitted, two of them are approved. Two are approved and two are in combination now. You got to combine them with other panels. There are sponsors whose panelists are part of that sponsor team, and they're going to pay some money already.
Got it.
Got you. Thanks, Karen. Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate it. Any other questions? Okay, so she's talking about a suite. We do need to look at that. Anybody have any ideas of where our sources can come to pay for the suite? I think Mita's idea is great. She didn't identify our sponsor source, but it's a good concept that we can market. Let's see, Pam, Tony, Ron, Jade. Who else is on this call? Let me go back and look. Sorry, y'all, I'm behind the screen here. KL, gotcha. So we do want a suite. Is that correct? Or are we just being quiet? Am I missing something on the conversation at all? Let's see.
No, we
Ron.
want a suite. We always have a suite. We want a suite.
Okay, then.
I definitely agree. We should definitely have a suite in Las Vegas. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I just forwarded it over. You guys review it and see how we can tweak it. It just needs to be fine tuned. The people that are interested in a suite or sponsoring something we're doing, they could be shopped with this, because we definitely need a suite. I mean, our suite is the most popular suite there is. Basically, to be honest with you, even when we were in San Diego and Vegas the last time, right?
Yes. So I have a question that's kind of off topic, but in our suite, are we going to do the purse auction again?
That's Pam's suggestion. She's had the purse auction responsibility for a while, so we can do it. I think we should be a combination of it being virtual and live. We should virtually support it going into the conference. We have a virtual process and then live as well. You know, portions of the conference is going to be hybrid and virtual, although it's going to be a live conference. A lot of it's going to be virtual too.
Pam's
Oh,
making faces.
What did you say?
I said Pam's making faces.
At least we can see her face.
Yeah,
Look,
right.
okay,
right.
hold on.
Very
Look.
good point, Terry. Good point. I guess
Look,
I
I'm
didn't
sweating.
realize that you know what? I totally forgot about it's so funny. I totally forgot about any virtual aspect of this conference at all. I surely did. And I sure did. I forgot. I didn't realize. Are you sure we're going to do some of it virtual? Because it seems like when Dorothy was on the meeting, she was talking about the expense of it
It's my
or
understanding
something. I
about
don't know. That was a
80%.
while ago.
Yeah, it's my understanding about 80% slide. There's going to be a 20% virtual aspect for those who are compromised. They may cancel that altogether. A lot of the decisions are coming out of the home office. We don't have these committees and task forces and reviewers anymore. A lot of decisions come straight out of the home office. That's probably why we're having such a glitch with these combined panels. They see one word in a panel and they think it should be combined. They saw the word crisis in Jade's panel that she submitted for me, and they saw the word crisis in KL's panel she submitted for herself. And they said, oh, we're going to combine them. And then when you read them, they're not the same.
Hmm. So we've, because they've given us that strict, they're really strict about these deadlines, about getting stuff in.
Well, yeah, Tanya, your question was great. And Pam, what do you think? Oh, do we want to have the purse auction? I just talked to Norma Adams Wade, and she said she's more than willing because she will be attending. And the purse auction is named after her as well.
Right.
We could
right.
do a suite-based purse auction. And
We
that's
could do it
that's
in
one of
the,
the drivers for sponsorship as well, to pay for the suite.
we could do it in the same space,
Right.
wherever we're doing it.
Yeah, now, I know that we were working on something. Karen had taken all the images of the purses and her daughter was supposed to make them live. So, Pam, are you able to reach out to Karen and see if they ever took all those 64 pictures I sent them and made them live? So
You
we
would
can sell
have
them
to
off?
give me that information because I'm not a, oh, you talking about our Karen in Virginia?
Yeah,
Oh, I'll ask her about the images. It
no
was supposed
problem. I'll
to-
forward the email exchange between you, herself, and others about it when we were supposed to have that, the HBCU thing. And maybe we can go from there.
Karen Wilson.
And Tanya, you're proactively talking about the suite. Is that correct? You want to have a purse auction, right, Tanya?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry, I was on mute. Yes. I
Okay.
was asking, I mean,
Yeah, I think it's a great thing.
it seems like it's always been successful, don't you think? Don't you guys
Oh,
think?
it's been
Yeah.
successful. I think it
I'm
can
not
even.
gonna buy anything this year though.
Yeah.
Girl, I bought 4 purses.
I
don't-
have
I
too.
probably-
I've been buying
listen,
them.
I probably only used one, like my closet. If I showed it to you right now and all the purses, you probably would just be.
I
so
did
freaked
use
out.
one of those purses a
All
lot.
right,
I
Jade, I want to do a side bet with you. I bet you Pam's gonna buy something. Come on.
Y'all not getting my money this year.
So, I think it's great. I think the purse auction can move to a higher level. I'm approaching Target, and that's the ones that came back. Target hasn't been with NABJ since we ticked them off in Minneapolis when we were in their city. And they can provide some high-end retail as well, but they can also provide $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 and pay for the suite, and portions of the reception can be mixed into it. And that's what I talked to Tia about. Okay, so that's a good one.
Yeah.
Now, we're moving fast so we can go home or go back to our respective spaces. Now, first of all, the big question today is why is everybody hiding themselves? What's up with that?
Really?
You know,
I've
what?
never
you know I'm
seen
extroverted.
KL.
This is bothering me.
KL, I've never seen you. Never. Never.
Oh.
Okay.
Tanya, I know who you. I've seen you and I've seen
yeah.
Jade, but I've never seen KL. But you know, since it's
Yes,
at
you have.
nighttime, see, I already had my nap, so I kind of got it together and got it back up again. But
There you go. You had a nap already. Great
I
for
had
you.
a nap already.
All right. The last thing before we get into the panels, awards. The awards are out. Have we reached out to several people who would be eligible so we can have a large award process, not just the Tobin Award, but there are awards in digital business, digital media, PR campaigns. There's a whole lot of awards. Pam, you had sent me an email with all the awards we had, so we have a lot. Do you guys think that we can start reaching out to some of our people who can submit stuff? I've already reached out to Kayla because she does this big thing with the Minnie's Food Pantry. Minnie is also a correspondent, but you know they always bring Oprah out, and it's a big giant media campaign. So it's a good thing in public relations. Anybody around you guys can think of what the other awards? I mean, can think of who we can reach out to and what awards we can enter, or any of you decided to enter into any of the awards?
I wanted to enter into something, but I realized that I wasn't qualified because it had, when I read the fine print, it had to be specifically for African Americans, and it was not.
But isn't that pretty much most of the categories?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be specific for that.
Yeah.
Group. And so
Which one were you talking
disappointed.
about?
I think it was some PR stuff I was trying to do. I thought about putting in for, but it wasn't.
Can I dig a little deeper, Pam? If you are the person that did it, you are the African American gets the award, even if it covered white people. It doesn't matter who it covers, it matters who originated. It's based on who originated. It's not based on the subject matter.
But
Really?
Terry, I haven't looked at the awards this year, but in the past I wanted to submit and it's exactly what Pam said.
Right.
What does
It
that
had-
mean? Exactly, because I'm on
That
the STE and we awarded stuff that didn't have a black subject matter to black people who did it last year. So let's look at the awards right quick.
Okay.
Let's share my screen here. Public relations campaigns. There's one in,
Hey, Mom, I'm
ev-
on a meeting right now. I'll call you right back.
oh, hey, Mom, how you doing?
Hi.
Okay, I'll call you right back.
So we got PR marketing, advertising, and business services. Y'all can see that, right?
Yeah, I'll make it bigger. Hold on. Yeah, okay.
Okay. And then you have government. And then there's associations and nonprofit.
See, I was gonna do that government. That's what it was.
Is it something that you did?
Yeah,
Okay, then I don't think it's. Now I was on the STE committee last year, and we had a lot of stuff that won awards. And the subject matter was about homelessness. The subject matter was about battered women. The subject matter was about the pandemic. And
yeah.
it
was
wasn't
pandemic
about
stuff.
it wasn't about a black subject, but it was a black person being nominated. Do y'all understand that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Do
yes.
you see differently, Tanya?
Again, I didn't see the awards, the categories this year. And quite honestly, because it seemed different before, I stopped even wanting to submit.
Okay,
But
so
the way it's enlightening what you're saying, and if that gives me hope to to submit. But in the past,
because you
it
have a lot of
was
stuff
written
that you're
on
doing
there
with the
about the
airport.
audience.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
You had a lot of stuff that you're doing with the airport that should be eligible.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got marketing, advertising, and print, PR marketing. There's advertising, there's radio, there's television. These are all marketing things. The biggest challenge, y'all, is that everybody doesn't submit all of the stuff required, like a DVD and stuff like that. But I think we have people out there. Rabia's organization is doing a lot in social justice. They have a print campaign. And I still think you should submit yours, Pam. I still think it qualifies. Now, I'll reach out to Greg at the end of this call and ask him, does it have to be a black subject matter? Which that doesn't make sense to me, because
Mhm.
Well,
we're
wait,
journalists.
not necessarily a black subject matter, a black audience.
That's
Right.
same difference,
Well, the
It-
pandemic hit everybody, and black and brown folk more, the worst. So
97% of our membership works for white folks. So I don't know how we could be reaching a black audience. So okay, so I don't.
When is the deadline, Terry?
Deadline's the 31st, if I'm not correct. If I'm not mistaken, right, Pam? 31st.
God, I got so many deadlines. I got
Yeah, I will check it. I will send it out to y'all, and I got this on things. And sorry, I'm going real fast. We're still in bereavement process here at the house, and there's a lot of people here.
Hey, Pamela, I have a question for you real quick. Is what you're thinking about submitting, is it for a particular government agency?
Yes.
What agency is that? know-
Social services
Where?
in Durham.
Yeah, there you go. You can do it because Durham's population is predominantly African American. You can
It's
just
50-50. It's almost 50, a little bit more white folk, but it's about
Right.
50-50.
But the way that and Terry is right, the way in which you word the entry is how it's going to be judged. So
Uh-huh.
you could manipulate the entry and still say, and it's not wrong. It's definitely not wrong. I mean, if you try to do that, Fuquay Arena or something like that, it's something different. But you're talking about Durham. Yeah, I would
Uh-huh.
say definitely go ahead and the worst they're gonna say is no, thank you.
Yeah.
And I will. Tony's absolutely right. I will check with Greg, because he pushed
Yeah,
me.
Greg was the one that said it in that daggone meeting. That's what what
I
my
have that on.
thought
I have
about
that recorded. I don't
Yeah.
recall him saying that in the meeting.
He did, yeah, he
I
did say
do
that.
recall him
He
saying
he
that.
did.
He did.
Tony, you heard it.
He said that
He
your
did.
audience had to be black.
Right, yeah, he did say that it had to be, be targeted to the African diaspora.
Yeah.
And, but the thing is that
So homelessness doesn't cover black folks.
no, it does.
Okay.
It absolutely does. And it's just the way you manipulate
Exactly.
the entry.
That-
That's
that-
all.
there you go, Tony.
Yeah, manipulate the
and-
entry because they're not going to
And
go
Pam,
in
if you
and.
live in a population that's 50-50,
Mhm.
done deal.
That's it. You're just talking that 50%. Just depends on which 50% you're talking about.
There you go, Tony. Thank
The
you.
deadline is May 31st.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
said. yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna stop this share. Okay,
This-
so we need to also personally reach out to people that need to put in an award. We don't want, I'm gonna quote Pam, we don't want folks to get our awards and they ain't got no skin in the game. So,
That's it. Amen and amen and amen.
yeah,
Amen.
I don't want Pollyanna Prissy to get an award that should go to KL Newhouse, okay?
Yeah, that they've never been involved with, they've never paid dues or barely paid dues and never been involved in anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
So one reach out to you, Jay, isn't your department, don't you qualify for those government, the ones that are in government? Are you at that level where you submitting pitch letters or coverage?
I just, well, there are other people, but I work with media, so, you
okay,
know, there
Oh, yeah,
was
that's
media
great.
engagement with NFBJ and NHJ, but yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right, so let's get to the other thing. I think some of these things have been resolved. When Ron and I didn't have access to submit panels, we called everybody else. So I got Jade to submit Pitch Me With Your Best Shot, even when Kim said she wasn't gonna be submitting it. Now she's sending me emails saying, yeah, thank you. So, and the panel people on there are there, but we need to add 2 additional panelists on Pitch Me With Your Best Shot. And I think all of us know what Pitch Me With Your Best Shot is.
Yeah.
It's the relationship between PR and news editors and news desks to get our clients on air.
Mhm.
And so if you guys know anybody that wants to participate in that panel, it'd be awesome to do that. Jay, do you have anything you want to add to that one?
No, but did they send you an email, confirming that? Cause,
They sent it to Kim. Remember when we
Okay,
submitted it? We submitted
yes.
it under Kim. And the people on that panel that we have so far is Saptosa Foster and April Turner, and I think we should round it off with an additional person. Oh, and yeah, that's it. So is that you guys okay with that one? Got any ideas of who we else should throw in there in the mix? Maybe we should throw that podcast lady in. What's her name? Pam Peerford.
No, no, I got my own thing to worry about this
No
year.
problem.
Yeah.
Just trying to be nice.
I appreciate it.
I thought maybe, Tanya, since she's had that experience, right,
Tanya,
when working on news.
you ready
Which,
to
but which panel are you talking about?
pitch me with your best shot?
shot.
But do we have other panels that we're also working on?
We're going to those. We're working on Pitch Me With Your Best Shot now, and the approved person, Kim Bardakian, is the coordinator. We have April, and we have Septosa Foster. We really like to have 3. Your name was suggested, if you're willing or available for it.
I can definitely do it, but
Okay.
I think
We'll put you down as an alternate. Is that okay with you?
yeah, because wasn't one of them, oh my phone's about to die, but wasn't one of them going from news to PR?
Yeah, we'll get to that one next. So, you mind if we stay on point?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Yes, of course.
Hey, Terry, how about maybe even as an extra person, in case somebody doesn't work out, what about Misty Starks?
Perfect. I like, Mitch is a queen of pitch down in Houston too.
Yeah.
Let me
She-
put that down there.
Yeah,
Misty
she had
Starks.
that, and you and I saw that one session she did. I think it was either last year or the year before. She's really good.
Yeah, and I think she has some approved panels too. She just hadn't sent them to me yet. She said
Okay.
she didn't check, but she was dealing with she's been dealing with the pro athletes. You know, Texas is doing a darn good job in the sports industry there, so she's been very busy. So I put down Misty. So on the next one, and I think we already worked it out, haven't we, Jade? KL, it's been worked out, right?
All right, for ours, we're still I still need a bio and picture from you, but I never heard back from
Ahmad Gori.
So I'm just going to
Okay, I will talk to Ahmad in a few minutes.
Yeah,
when
we
get off
need
the
to narrow
phone.
that panel. We need to narrow it to 3 people because it's only
Oh,
going to
we
be
have-
20 minutes.
we have KL. It's going to be
Great.
Tanisha,
Uh-huh.
Ahmad, Gori, and me. If we can
Yeah.
get
Oh, that's
Ahmad's info.
wonderful.
Yeah,
So I
And thank
sent
you,
you,
Jade. Thank you for everything you
sent you-
sent me.
Okay.
Thank you.
yeah,
no
Jade,
problem.
you did a fantastic job of taking a combined panel and combining it. KL and I had the conversation the other night because we do now, and it's so funny. Both panels had the word crisis in it, but they're not the same.
They're
So-
not the
yeah,
same
really.
at all. They're
I know.
extraordinarily divergent. Yeah,
Yeah.
my panel was more focused on what just happened with disinformation, with the shooting and the language and use of storytelling.
Right. We
But
got it. And
the way that Jade and I configured it, one will lead into the other, but we just need to make sure we hold everybody. It's a tight 20 for the first 3, tight 20 for the second 3.
yeah, I don't see an issue with that. Everything's tight when it
Yeah.
comes to this other stuff.
Yeah, so
So
we're
it has
good.
been combined. The good thing about the combination is that your panel is talking on disinformation, and we're talking about crisis communication plans. So the good thing about that is that we can get that sponsored, and that will feed to our suite because there are 9 crisis communication advocacy D&I teams out there with the larger major advertising agencies. And now, once y'all resubmit, we have a great panel. What was the new title again? So we can all banter about that.
Yeah. Well, first, I'm submitting everything tonight and overnight to tomorrow. So whoever bio and information I have, that's who's getting submitted. Just FYI, Jade is on a big project, and then I'm unavailable after Wednesday. So
Okay, so the question
to keep
was,
our
what was the new
deadline.
title?
yeah, I said, well, first I'm going to go over that part. So that part got mentioned. And then the new title is Triggered, the Changing Crisis Communications, Resourceful Tips, and Reframe Disinformation.
Mm.
Okay, you think that's a good catch title phrase?
It's a little long, but
Yeah,
I like the word triggered. It may be just if we can shorten it just a little bit. That triggered is
right.
a key buzzword that everybody's using.
Well,
That-
Say it,
that
say
will
the
capture
title
the
one more
attention.
time.
say the title again.
Triggered, Changing Crisis Communications, Resourceful Tips, and Reframed Disinformation.
Is it reframe past tense ed?
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean,
Reframe.
so you know exactly what the panel is about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the description should carry more what the panel's about than the title. I think one of our biggest mistakes when it comes to sponsorship and getting people to enroll is that we try to put the entire makeup of the panel in the title.
Sure.
Crossing Jordan is Crossing Jordan, and they have to read to see what the rest of it is. But it does draw them to the event because Crossing Jordan has a biblical implication. It has entertainment implication, and also has a self-help implication. That's why it got so much traction. So I just wanted you to be conscious of when you do that. That's a long title, and disinformation is a good word. Triggered is good, but I think that I just put it in the test thing on my little software I use, and it says it triggered. The words that popped up when we put in triggered was criminal. Let's see what it said.
Because what are some of the cases that we're going to talk about with that title?
So we're going over the evolving crisis communication because COVID has changed how we deal with crisis and how we communicate. So we're going to go over some tips and like give them resources and some research that are that's focused on like the new way of crisis communications. And part of crisis communication is having that understanding and awareness of the mis and disinformation that quickly occurs when a crisis happens.
Does that answer your question, Tanya?
No,
It
and the
does.
second part, but the second part is about taking actual headlines and how the language, for instance, what just happened with the AP in the bias. So it's really talking about how bias and disinformation are perpetuated and how we as storytellers, whether it's media, journalists, communicators, particularly in crisis situations, need to be very cognizant of our language and our word choices, calling 18-year-olds boys when they're white and men when they're African American.
So that's more
The
a
most
bias.
recent example.
That's
Yeah.
more of a bias than it is a trigger.
But
Well, it
that's
does
what
trigger
is
you, though.
triggering.
It's
That is triggering.
It is.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it depends on how we personally look at it because it's not triggering for me. It's a button pusher. I wouldn't call it triggering. I just did a word search on marketing, value of marketing words in the marketing. So when I put in triggered, what came up for me was get offended, victimization, get your feelings hurt. So if that's your target that you're looking for, that works. When I put in disinformation, first of all, trigger rate is a 4. I put in disinformation rated at 10 plus, and it says released, activated, sparked, provoked. So those are how I develop titles based on that software.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we want full engagement because we're live, and they always measure. So far, we've been very lucky that all of our workshops in PR has always been standing room only. And I think that based on how KL just described it, that we may be able to look at Francesca's company to sponsor that so we can generate money that will feed into the suite as well.
So are you all thinking like trigger crisis and disinformation? Like, I don't know.
Because when you said crisis in my world, I'm thinking the shooter that, the active shooter at the airport. But
No.
I see where we're going. I see
Well, I
where we're
think
going.
we have a variety of experience because crisis in like government means something totally different.
Right. That's why I was asking.
Be specific. It means what in government?
Well, okay, when a crisis happens, it's usually a threat against the government or it's a threat against like people and it's affecting the safety of something.
Cool. Hey, Tony, what does crisis mean with the Red Cross?
Whereas, go ahead.
Usually means that there's a threat to people. Our main mission is to ensure that people are safe and taken care of. We don't really deal with property, but it's more about people.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Go ahead,
And then
KL.
in the crisis public relations space, it's more about messaging after those particular events may occur, on the heels of those events, in advance of those events, more like the damage control space or recovery in terms of your media presence. Basically what you send your media spokespeople out to say. So that's really more the area.
I think that's great.
And
from the PR side, I just want to enhance that a little bit, KL. The PR side, it means reputation management and liability reduction.
Right.
Liability reduction. Dr. Phil reduced the liability of Delta when that plane crashed. They still paid out, but they saved over $5 billion for payout because the crisis the reputation management was handled. That being said, I'm putting that in the chat.
Exactly it. I fully concur. That's exactly it.
Right.
It's reputation management and again, mitigation of liability.
And we had this here in Dallas, and Tanya, you may be familiar with the Ebola virus when we sent that man home when they told him he had the flu, and found out the whole hospital had been biased against Black men, and he sent him home. So the hospital's reputation tanked. Everybody canceled the surgeries. I'm talking about elective surgeries, and this is a hospital where Queen Elizabeth's aunt had brought her children there, and they had a baby and all that. So I had to do a whole thing on the 3 A's of PR in terms of a crisis that you can't manage. This was a medical crisis. So I think reputation management. So you guys might want to consider that. And I would say a trigger to trigger this, a trigger title is better than a sentence title.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think that the word disinformation and the word reputation management and crisis is going to work. I think trigger is going to make people think victimization. So you might want to consider when you do it, because we're trying to fill the place up. And that's just based on an experience I had. I'm not, I see Pam shaking her head there, but it's based on,
No, I'm just listening. I'm
it's
just
based
listening.
on application. I don't know if you guys use the same software I use, but I just go into the PR. I'm a member of PRSA, so they got us a little thing that they give us. And it's been very effective, but I also used one before that. But you might want to think of having a catchphrase title to get them to the door and get it full. And then they're going to read the description anyway. But I think some hot things would be disinformation and crisis management and you know, all those things. Reputation management is important. That's what we do in PR. We manage people's reps. You know, I remember when Pam came to Dallas with the I didn't even
Government social media.
yeah, I didn't even know that the government social media had a government social media.
It was only about 3 years old then.
Yeah, I said, what? That's new. But
Yeah.
it was packed. You had a packed conference. And Pam and I hang out at Chocolate Secrets. It's our spot. All right, so now let's go. I think fantastic job between Jade and KL for managing how that's going to be done and those tight turnarounds between one level and the other. So kudos. And the emails that got that. Jade, I just want to say, and this is an iron sharpened iron thing. So if people want to get mad at me at the end of the day, it's okay. But when you send out the emails, tell Ahmad Gori is really keen on deadlines. If you say I need this by this day, I'm just now learning.
I think I put it in there Tuesday
Okay,
at
okay.
noon. Yeah,
Okay.
it was like, if you accept, I would need this information Tuesday at noon. But I
Okay.
gave up, look, he doesn't know me, so I had to do the intro.
Yeah, I forwarded it to him from you, and I sent it back and says, you need to respond to this. I personally didn't even
Oh,
see the
your
deadline.
email was different from everybody else. I sent you a special
No,
email.
no. The
Oh,
email
okay.
that you sent, I saw that special email. The email that you sent Ahmad, you copied me on it. So I forwarded it to him
Oh,
because he opens
okay.
my email, so I wanted him to see what he was getting, because yours may have went to an unfamiliar place.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
But if he can get to me tonight in your stuff, because I
Yeah,
want to
I'm
make
gonna
sure
call
I
him as soon as we
leave
get
my
off the phone,
deadlines with
because I
KL.
didn't know about the deadline, and you probably did put it in there, but I didn't see it. And KL says she wants to do it tonight, so I'm gonna tell him, hey, and I just sent you mine while we were on the phone. It says
Okay,
bio and
super.
pic, and I said
Thank you, sir.
you
Thank
pick the
Jay.
picture. I said you pick the picture, make me look good.
If you
And-
send the pictures, you like them enough, I'm sure they both look good.
Well, you know how you are, Pam. You know when I did KL's Black History moment, she said that's not the picture I sent you. Change it.
I had an update.
So anyway, so we managed that one. You guys worked that one out really well. Tony, let's talk about yours.
Thanks, Jay.
Crossing Jordan, which is sponsored. That sponsor was going to come from Fleischman Hilliard, just to let
Okay.
you know, and they're going to
Okay.
pay for that. And that one of the panelists that we approved, when I sent you all that, those panelists, those people I put in there that you submitted for me, they're one of the panelists is a check writer.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I saw what Tanya submitted, what's her name? Kim Benton submitted.
Yeah.
And hers is more about, it's a little bland about crossing over the thing. Ours is more in tune with the transitional skills you need to retain once you cross over, and at what level you should cross over into PR, whether it's mid-management or C-suite and things of that nature. So tell me what you're thinking.
I actually like our panel a little bit better because she kind of told me who was on her panel.
Yeah.
The one thing I really like about the panel that we've submitted is there's a nice range of diversity. We actually have someone who is an NAHJ member.
That's our sponsor,
I have
Yes.
one too.
Rebecca
An
Aguilar.
NAHJ
Yes.
member too,
Right,
yeah.
Rebecca. And I think, and I know I told her about who, that she was on the panel. I kind of got a little bit of pushback on that. And I said, well, the thing was, I said, well, you have to remember it's an NABJ, NAHJ convention. So if we have an opportunity to kind of have an NAHJ member on the panel, we should definitely do it.
Absolutely.
And it's
So-
called money.
Yeah.
I just want to put it there, money.
Show me the money. Yep. So, and I apologize. I had no idea this was sponsored, and I don't think that she knows either. We talked on the phone last week on Friday. Now she's in Memphis because her grandmother passed away, so she's out of pocket until probably Friday. So that's where we stand. We had a preliminary discussion. And-
And Tony, I put our title in the chat so people could see it because it's a point of discussion. I put her title in the chat.
Mhm.
Her description is very generic. It's just like, oh, I quit my newsroom and I went to PR.
Right.
Ours is more about a transition and coming into a career track.
Right. Yeah. And I think that, with the Crossing Jordan title, I think it would really speak. If I was coming out of journalism now and looking to go make the transition to PR, I would be drawn to that, because just going from having a journalism job into PR, that's one thing, but making the transition means that you're actually transitioning from one career to another, and there's more to it than just going from one building to another.
Yeah, it's more to going from newsroom to PR.
Right.
It's just not that simple. And,
Mm.
and Pam is my road dog on this one. We had somebody do a panel last year. I mean, when we were first virtual, that was the most horrible panel. Pam and I would text each other like, what the hell's going on?
Mhm.
And they were talking about being in the car and texting each other. I said, this is not a panel on PR, newsroom to PR. What is this thing? Remember that, Pam? It's like, what?
Not right now at the top of my head.
Yeah, well, it was with one did it.
Oh.
I can't pronounce his last name. It's a Hispanic name.
Uh,
But Rebecca
that-
Aguilar is an Emmy Award winning journalist who is now a Emmy Award winning PR person and head of the Society of Professional Journalists, but she's a
Yes.
PR person.
Yeah. When
And she worked in San Antonio.
yes, that's right. And I reached out to her. She was really excited.
Yeah, she's been texting me on my Facebook.
She is on board. She is just raring to go. She says, if we could do it tomorrow, it'd be great. I reached out to everybody on the list. The only person I did not hear back from was Dawn Kelly. Everybody else I reached out to.
And I've been in touch with Dawn Kelly. She was on my podcast the past 2 weeks.
Okay,
So do you have her email address?
I sure do.
Oh,
Well, and I'll call her if you want me to.
yeah, because Dawn is usually very prompt.
Right,
Don,
yeah,
good thing, good news, Tony. Don is giving us stuff for the suite from her coffee shop, so
Okay.
we all talking to her.
okay, okay.
So,
So the
oh.
only question that I have is, I don't know how this is gonna wind up working, because I think that Kim has the impression that she's gonna rewrite it and do it, but we want to keep it. We don't want to move from what we have here.
okay,
We want to keep this panel basically, the way it is.
well, yeah, I'm glad to hear that from you, Tony, because your emails didn't say that. But the thing I want to stress is that if she gives you pushback, we turn this into a sponsored panel. It gets recreated in its own, and hers could possibly be dropped. So we could turn around and say we have a sponsor. All we had to do is send it to a development at nabg.org, and it's based on what was given there. I don't want to see it go to that, but I can say this, and I can share this in front of everyone. I worked with Kim before. Difficult and extremely narrow-minded when it comes. You got to do it my way or no way, because we had a panel combined before, and when we had the conference and the regional conference in Texas, and so her picture wasn't in the first row. She called and said it was my fault, but I don't have anything to do with that. That came out of her home office, and then she said that she wanted her speakers to be listed first. Just difficult. Okay, so I feel for you. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to submit the panel so it would be approved through me, because I can deal with that. But you submitted it for me, so I think we need to stress the fact, take the high road stress the fact that this is a sponsored panel
Mm.
and that we have a key member on that panel that needs to stay on that panel. That she's got a fantastic history. If you Google Rebecca Aguilar,
Mm.
it fits Crossing Jordan to the T. And I think we need to stick to the title because that title packed the house we used it 3 years ago and it
Mm.
packed the house then. So what are your thoughts?
No, I definitely agree. I know that she wanted to, I think she was under the impression she was gonna moderate, and I said, no, Terry's gonna moderate. And that was the end of the discussion there. So, I said, Terry Allen's gonna moderate this panel. I want Terry to moderate. So, you're gonna moderate the panel.
Okay. I think it's important too that we stick to the pillars that are inside our description. You sent me both descriptions. I'm looking at them now.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to see them on the screen, let's do that anyway.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hold on a minute. Share the screen. Let me see if I can find it. I'm so bad at this and I'm so tired. You guys having someone die in your family, someone close to you, someone that raised you, and then having
Right,
to deal
this
with 500
this-
people is crazy.
Yeah, this is Kim's.
So this is Kim. When you look at it, it says new room to public relations and marketing. And these are people that I don't see the skill set and PR that's there. It's mostly public affairs. Okay. And Kim's job is president publisher of something, and it doesn't have
It doesn't say what she's publisher of. What is?
Thank you, Pam. I love you. Where do you want me to get? Where do you want me to cash app you? So
Yeah, she said that she, right now, she works in public affairs
yeah, she's
in the federal government in Atlanta.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I work in the lobby.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
yeah.
All right. So here it doesn't, and we're talking about our pool of people. We are starving for the right thing. So many people have transitioned to PR and closed doors for other people because they worked horrible when they got out. And most of them got the jobs because they were broadcast media stars.
Yep.
And they don't know what they're doing. So let's look at ours. Hold on a minute, y'all. I've got two things going on here. Let's see if I can pivot to the other one. Okay, there we are. And so you're talking about Tony. Of course, no one can talk about the transition difficulties more than you do, Tony. Okay, done. So, yeah, I mean, we all celebrated your job. So,
Yeah.
and the Rebecca Aguilar was a Emmy Award-winning journalist, top of her game, and she brought charges of discrimination against Fox here in Dallas,
Oh,
and
really?
she was minimized right out of her job. And later, she'll probably reveal this, but later won that lawsuit. Don Roberts has gone from working as a journalist in a newspaper to creating a whole health and wellness, which I thought was fundable. And of course, Don Kelly has transitioned to entrepreneurship, which we need to talk about. But she's not only done that, she's changed the industry, but she still runs. She went from working for Prudential to being part of an entire media group. And that's why they were picked. And that was when I reached out to them. But if you look at the
Right now, Dawn is working on the governor campaign in New York.
right. So there you go, Pam. Thank you. If you look at the description here, expert communication professionals will discuss how to transition from career in journalism to rewarding employment in public affairs, public relations. If you go down to the bottom here, the takeaways, which path has the quickest advancement? What is corporate public relations? What is agency? And what is entrepreneurship? And that's why we were coming up with the Crossing Jordan. And none of that is in what Kim does. So if you need assistance, I'm more than happy to help you. Okay. And
Yeah,
so
this has way more meat to it, especially when you look at the session description, because hers was just a really quick, really quick paragraph, and she only had one takeaway.
Right.
And you've got really, when you're talking about, I mean, we have two takeaways, and when again,
we'll have three.
when you're transitioning not from one job to another, from one career to another, from one lifestyle to another, you need a little more explanation, and this is only going to be, probably it's only going to be about an hour. And, but
Right.
we're gonna be talking about the base and, you know, I
well,
just think it's better, there's a better presentation here.
Okay. Hey, I'm sorry, Jade, I saw your email. I'll resend the bio. So this is it. So if you need help developing that, we all have until the 23rd, although KL and Jade are turning theirs in tonight. So we can help build that process and let them know that. And this is sponsored and necessary to let the final action, if it's sponsored, we send it over to them and say, this is coming at a sponsorship level. One of Rebecca's, technically one of Rebecca's clients. And, it's NHH, like Pam said, it's NHA, and she's a president over at NAHJ. So when I saw the combination, I think they did what we did, transition. They did what they did to KL and J, saw the word crisis, say, oh, they're the same. They saw the word transition on both of these and said they're the same, but they're not. This was in depth. This is some of the things Pam's talked about, Ron's talked about, all of us on this call talked about how people cross over and fail. And we've got to talk about those fail safes, but there's a difference between working for an agency and working for a corporation and then working for a public sector. And people need to know how to cross over good. That's why Crossing Jordan is a good takeaway title as well. Any other thoughts and concerns, y'all? Ron, I haven't heard from you. I know you got some great insights, so share with us. I'm gonna go stop the screen. Go ahead, Pam.
Terry, I just want to interject something because it's getting late. It's like 10 here. What about the Pat Tobin Award?
What about it?
We haven't have we put in for anybody? Have we nominated? We haven't nominated anybody. Maybe I don't know, but I don't know that we have.
There's some considerations out there. I'm waiting to hear back from the other Pat Tobin awardees to see if they identified something. I have been asked to submit. So we want to banter that until we have that submission date, which is the 24th.
No, that submission date is you got to make sure either it's the 23rd or the 31st because they're so strict about those dates.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look at my Salute to Excellence committee list here. Let me see the awards.
Because I've got to do one for I have to submit somebody for in education.
Okay, it says here the 24th.
24th?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It is the 31st. And
31st?
24th is our meeting. Yeah, I'm looking at my email.
Okay.
Okay, you're right. Sorry about that. So
no problem. I just was worried because I don't want I get so sick of them hijacking. Once we've submitted somebody, we're media related and we submit somebody for our media related category and it gets usurped on the board level. And it's just infuriating to me.
Yeah, and when I was on the board, they rejected the 2 characters that we had. And then when I was on the board the second year, they were going after a newsroom person when Ron was up against it. So that didn't happen because I told him, no, I sold the whole game. And then we don't have anybody on the board with a representation that argue for us at this point. Our current member on the board spends more time defending the people that don't want us there than defending us wanting to be there. So when Ron came through, there were 2 journalists and they weren't even in PR. They was just community affairs over at the journalist station. I said,
and it's
that's
not
acceptable.
And that has to be in our wheelhouse.
And also I can say this too, Ron Carter had a banging ass presentation too. So that helped me sell it a lot. So we got to talk to those people and make sure that their submission is top tier. Well, anyway, this is my hour. I am too also downtown. I need to trek north and deal with all of my out of town people that were here for my mom's funeral. Ron, do you have anything you want to add? Any advice or comments?
No, not really. Could you send, are you saying you're gonna send out the awards?
Yeah, you want me to forward that? I will forward that.
Yeah.
Let me type that in the chat so I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, got it done. Forward over the awards categories. I think we have enough people out there that's there. I know Tanya should be submitting an award for government and also public. We have too many of us that there last year, 2 categories didn't even have nobody in it. So that one person would have been great. So there you go. I appreciate you guys.
Well, I have one quick question. Do we know
Sure.
if Motali is running for the board?
Not that we're aware of. The only
The
person we
certified
know
candidate
is
is
Rashonda Hall.
she's unopposed.
Okay.
And Matali never said she was. She kept saying she wasn't.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry, I don't think your bio on title came through yet. Like I'm refreshing.
I just
Oh,
earlier 5 minutes ago I said I see your note. I'll send it to you when I end the call.
okay.
Yeah.
No worries. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Thank you, lady. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a challenge for us to be heard. Now, the only thing I want to talk about in this last 2 minutes is, Pam, have you got with Jared? Are we going to have, and KL, I know Matali didn't reach out to you, so we already know that, but are we going to, you guys, are we going to
Thank
have an agenda where we say we want full voting rights, or we want to be able to vote for more, expand our power on in NABJ as a member? Where are we with that, you guys?
Well, I have thoughts, but like you just alluded to, the last email that I sent to Matali was a dead end in terms of, I was told to just kind of hold tight till she could get to make her rounds, essentially, to meet with other people. And then the next communication was you and Ron had attended a meeting that I didn't have any information about. So now that that's really a non-starter, because we're going to be moving forward with what appears to be a fresh start with the new media rep, I just want to talk about timing, because I do certainly have some thoughts about what I feel we should be entitled to in terms of our voting strength.
Okay, well, Derek, the education chair, has also put together quite a strong platform. By in the morning, I am going to give you also a connection. I'm going to add Pam to that connection too, because Pam has some very strong ideas as well. And from there, we can see what that platform is, and we can ask it for to be on the agenda. And I was so glad to see your face, because you're beautiful. And I got that AKA in the background. Sorry, Sarah, ski fi. So it's we got that. So we're there's the education committee under the previous person had a whole lot of stuff that they will help you reduce that. And then now Jerry was very adamant about it. Now, I have an old school thought I'm gonna put out there before we close. Pam, remember when we were associates, we were educators, all of us together. And we were the most powerful group they had, because we could outvote anybody. And we didn't have voting power now. And now that we've been split up between educators and all that, the media related is still the biggest group. And so it's like 700 of us. So I think that we do need that voting power, and they've done a lot of work. There's a lot of work, and I'll connect the dots.
What, Terry?
Terry, does all 700 of these media-related folks vote? There's 700 of us on the books, but 700 don't vote.
Well, let me say this to you. I appreciate you, Ron. That's a major, beautiful statement. A lot of those people are like Tony. I'm just kidding. I just saw Tony there. I'm just messing with him. A lot of those people are journalists who want to pay a lower fee. So they don't vote, period. The average voting that we've had, the highest we've ever voted from the associate side was 148 votes. That's the highest number of group that's voted. But we've never had a constitutional item. The last time we had a constitutional item was when we were split into educators and media related, went from associates to that. And at that point, we had 585 people vote. So I think this constitutional item is going to get some people to vote. When it came to voting for office, it's just totally different. Did that answer your question?
So can I dovetail that question for my own edification?
Sure.
Who has access to, like, reach out to, like, the other task force I'm on, and I'm getting all the, communications. The point person I mean, with our current state of affairs being somewhat tenuous, but how do we gather those individuals with the communication to empower them to recognize what we're asking for, to get on board, or,
Okay,
I mean,
there's two
how are
avenues.
these people being engaged?
I got
Because
Two
those of us on the
avenues.
task force are involved, but what about everyone who's not on the task force?
Here's
but
a
who-
here's a reality check. The home
Okay.
office will not give us access to our members. The educators don't
That's
have
what I
it.
was
Nobody
wondering.
has it. All right.
That's what I was wondering.
Well, here's a good thing. Look at me, 22 years at NABJ. I have 4,300 email addresses. That's more than we have members. And they're segmented by journalists, they're segmented by CEOs, they're segmented by entrepreneurs. So we have access, I have access that we can get to. Okay. There is a form you can request to send out, but that has to come from our media related board rep. Our representation hasn't been proactive for us on that one.
Right.
Okay, so we have that access, but once the buzz is out there, one thing about media related people, we talk. And the happy hour has generated a media list, or a mailing list of over 396 people. So you just keep me posted, we'll keep sending it out and keep posting. And our media collaborative page, although only 20% are NABJ members, the buzz to get that out. I mean, when Pam posts something, Tony posts something, I mean, not Tony, he's not on Facebook, but when Manny posts stuff, we have high readership. So that's how we would do it until it gets a constitutional acceptance, and then it becomes part of one of those e-blasts that say, here's our constitutional amendments that we need to vote for.
That's what I was,
Okay.
That's what I was wondering. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to close, and you guys have done a good job. Tony and I are going to be working on convincing Ms. Benton, and I'm going to reach out to Rebecca about that sponsor she has. I'm also going to ask for based on what y'all are resubmitting, KL, you and Jade, I'm going to ask those two white advertising firms who want to get rid of some of their guilt money, Edelman and Fleischman Hilliard, to come in and pay for this so we can have a suite. I forwarded over to somebody something, but I'm sending it to Jade because I asked her to do it, is that there is a badass black-owned restaurant. Did you get it already, Jade? Did I send it to you? There's a black-owned restaurant over there that wants dying for us, and we can have
Not
a bang.
yet.
Okay.
It was on your list.
Yeah, we can have a bang up. I'm doing it now while I'm in the action mode.
Is the suite gonna be for the whole convention or just for one day?
No, the suite should be for the whole convention. Don't you think? That's where we've had it in the past, all right, Tanya? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Dang, it's been
No,
2
no,
years.
we've had it the whole time.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, 'cause in San Diego we had it for
Every day.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what was her name? Who was president back then? What's her name? She came back. She brought all her people out of the presidential suite to our suite.
Yeah, but that happened a couple of times.
It happens all the time, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because I bring in all those chefs, and in Vegas we got Chef Jeff, we got Chef Rhonda Pratt. Last time, Pam, you remember
I know Rhonda Pratt personally, but we never met in person.
Okay, well, Ron furnished all the food in the suite and the drinks in San Diego, and
I wasn't in San Diego.
And then we were in Vegas last year. Chef Jeff did it. So City Man Cook, we got chefs, and so we gonna be bad. And then of course I got liquor sponsors too. Not that I drink. So
Okay.
that's for KL, not me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As long as it has bubbles.
All right, so yeah, we want to suite the whole time, and that's where I'm going to push the sponsor. Please, guys, look into your wheelhouse too and see who we can approach. I'm really thinking about, and I was talking with Ron about this last year. I talked to Ron before we went shelter in place, and we were thinking about getting all the Black PR firms. And I know that Lynn Jeter said, she could get a couple, and she throw in some dollars too. So we may have a Black PR firms sponsored suite, and there's a lot of VPs.
Oh wait, she did say that at the last
Yeah, she did.
conference in person.
Yeah.
Right? She
Yeah,
said, yeah.
Yeah, and so we do have a bunch of VPs now that are in the Black companies, all these vice presidents of equity and diversity.
Mhm.
So, and now KL, don't throw nothing at me, but we want to get them just before they disappear like those vice president of affirmative action.
Right, right. Because that's what's next on the chopping block.
I know, right? Well, let me say this.
Right.
I interviewed for a job through the diversity manager for a healthcare company, hospital. And she's done such a good job that they gave her a memo saying we're going to cut back on our diversity initiatives. In other words, excuse
You
my
got
language.
too many black folk.
Yeah,
in
right.
here. I
You got-
can't.
You
I
got
can't.
too many Negroes. You need to
I'm
chill.
getting triggered.
So she called me and she said, since he
I'm
sent
getting
me,
triggered.
she called me and said, since she sent that email, I don't think you want to work for us. And you're top consideration, but they talking and looking at some dumb white girl. I said, well, that's what happened with my interview with the Red Cross. I got so many recommendations. The founder sent over a recommendation, and then I saw the recommendation that came from NBC5 and the one from CBS. I think that guy said, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, okay, that's what happened. And
They
again, Tony,
can't deal with
thank you
black
for
excellence.
the emails that you sent over there with him. Yeah, but that's what happened. And so I can't believe she was crying. She's an attorney and she's vice president of diversity and equity for Magenta Health Group. And she was crying. She said they told us to cut back on our diversity, and our diversity, our acclamation of diversity is going too fast.
Yes, yes, because they didn't think they had anybody, that we weren't qualified,
Yeah.
It's only one or two of us that that can be let into the club, and then the rest of you gotta fish for yourself.
And I'm gonna enhance it a little bit before I go, Pam. They were into checklists. We were into actually doing the work, and then they mad because we're doing more than checklists. And the second part is they're used to hiring gatekeepers, and the people they put in place now want to change things. And they say, oh, wait a minute, we just wanted to hire you. We didn't want you to change that.
Right.
So basically the typical, just a seat filler, not anyone empowered or with agency.
Well, the biggest problem they make, KL, is they hired people who want to make change. They didn't hire
Yeah,
gatekeepers.
that's the thing. And that's when the proof becomes really in the pudding. So sounds like a lot of the reasons when I would do diversity audits, this is what we would find.
Yep, there
Just-
you go. All right, guys, this has been awesome. You guys are the greatest people in the world. I want to give a super, super shout out to the person who likes, reposts everything that we do. I can put a big farm on there and Jade will like it. So Jade is doing a fantastic job of going to LinkedIn and Facebook, and wow, it's just amazing. So we all need to
If
step
y'all
up
get
the
a
plate.
job from one of those things, just let me know. I'll be finding things. I'll be like, I think the group would like it. So
And-
everybody can try it.
We got to do good, y'all, because
so
guess
much.
what? This is Jade's first conference.
Jade is awesome.
Oh, Jade,
It's my first. I'm a newbie.
Good.
Oh,
Cool.
Jade, I'm my roommate. I'm the one of our founders. We're hanging together. We're roomies.
Okay.
So it'll be she's a ball of fun, and thanks to Terry introduced us, and now we're always joined at the hip.
Yay. I look bald. I'm not bald.
Well, we're
You
gonna get
look
all we're gonna
beautiful.
get all in that same fun then.
Yeah, so you're going to
Yeah,
enjoy
I'm
it. Oh, now she's
excited.
going to show her face. Now we're talking about her coming to the conference. Let me just block her.
Jade, I need to, yeah, Jade, I want to chat real quick. Guys,
Okay.
so we can run past this new title. Let's see what works.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we finish the call, if you have a couple of seconds for me.
Oh, you
Okay.
talking
Are
to
we
Jade?
staying
Okay.
on?
Yeah,
Okay.
today. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
Yeah.
guys. I gotta run. I gotta
Bye.
call my
Yeah.
mom.
I know it's
All
late
right,
for
take
people.
Bye.
care.
God bless you. And let's just
See
do
ya.
this, y'all. Let's do this. I don't go without prayer.
Okay.
Yes,
All right, God,
thank you.
God has created us to have personal relationships with him. The greatest honor on this side of the earth, not on heaven, is that we become worthy with each other. We're made in his image and his ways. And to draw his grace through it, we will be graceful for each other. I hope to encourage each of us to stay great, go with greatness, and share a few of our great things with each other. I recently gave a closing statement about my mom and how she was tied to greatness, and she helped me find my struggle. And when I didn't know what God's agenda was, she brought so many people to God's agenda. And 17 people in the room stood up and said how she did that after she left law school. So our self-worth is not only freeing ourselves of negative thoughts, but is encouraging everyone to ride with us. So in God's grace, let's pray that we will move forward and step with the Spirit of God, and that we will bring glory and greatness to each one of us. And in His name, we're going to say, hallelujah. Amen.
Hallelujah.
I talk to you
Hallelujah,
guys.
amen.
See you guys
Good night,
later.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Amen.
All right.
Good night.
Amen. Be safe, everyone.
Okay,
Good
you
to
You
too.
too.
I wish
Bye,
I were in San
everyone.
Francisco, Jay. That looks good.
Yeah, me too. Manifestation.
All right. I'll let you guys go. I'm going to end the call. So y'all going to talk to each other.
All right.
All right. God bless everybody. And thanks, Tony, for what you did with the Red Cross. But when I saw all those recommendations come in, I peeped it. Yeah. Oh, we ain't putting this Negro in this job.
Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's always opportunities. So
All
I got
right.
my eyes open for not only that, but for other things. So,
Okay.
but we'll talk about that.
All right, Jade, I'm going to make you the co-host so that
Okay.
it'll be just y'all on the call, and then it'll close because I want to get out the building.
Okay.
Thank
That
you.
works.
It's because we got folks shooting folks in Texas. I want to go home.
Yes. Yes.
So
Be safe.
I'll make you
Be
the
safe. Thank
co-host.
you.
I'll make you the co-host so that when I signed out, it won't shut y'all down.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Yes,
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
couple of quick minutes. My continued prayers, Sherry. Thank you.